I welcome back everyone. Last class we have started with the topic planning the computer program. Before writing the computer program, we should have some proper plan. The programming plan has some number of steps that should be followed while we write a source code using any one of the computer programming language. Okay. The steps were included planning, program design, coding, testing and debugging, documentation and maintenance, isn't it? So in that last class we have discussed about the planning and then program design. Program design includes two types, that is algorithm and then flowchart. Last class we have discussed about an algorithm. So today in this class we are going to see about the flowchart. Flowchart is nothing but a graphical representation. It is simply a graphical representation of an algorithm. What we have written in algorithm is going to be represented in a pictorial format. That is called flowchart. Programmers often use this as a programming tool to solve a problem. This flowchart makes use of different symbols like oval, parallelogram, rectangle and so on. And also these symbols are connected to indicate the flow of information and processing. Okay. As we said, flowchart is a pictorial representation. To form a flowchart, we need some symbols. The symbols are defined already. Using those symbols, we are going to make a flowchart what we have written in the algorithm. Okay. And also the symbols should be connected each other to represent the flow of process. Okay. In case if the source code is having any processing statements like addition, subtraction, multiplication, it should have a unique symbol. And to connect all the symbols, we are going to use the arrow mark. The arrow line will be used to connect all the symbols and also to indicate the flow of the processing direction. We can say there are two types of flowchart. One is macro flowchart and another one is micro flowchart. Here is the definition for macro flowchart. The flowchart which is having minimum number of steps is known as macro flowchart. While we make a flowchart, we have to use the symbols and also the arrow marks to connect all the symbols. And finally, we should look on the flowchart how much symbols this flowchart contains. In case if the flowchart is having minimum number of steps like start, stop, and receiving the values and processing and then displaying the output. Simply with 4 or 5 steps, if the flowchart is prepared, then the flowchart is called macro flowchart. Then the definition for micro flowchart is the flowchart which is having maximum number of steps is known as micro flowchart. In case if a flowchart is having maximum number of steps, then it is automatically defined as micro flowchart. These are the two types of flowcharts. And then the process of drawing a flowchart for an algorithm is known as flowcharting. Okay. We might have prepared the algorithm already. For that we are going to make a flowchart, isn't it? So the process of preparing or drawing a flowchart is called flowcharting. Now let us see some of the commonly used flowchart symbols. In that the first one, terminal. In the terminal, we are going to use oval symbol which indicates that the start and stop point. Okay. While we discuss about the algorithm, I told you that all the algorithm should start with the step start the program and should end with stop the program. To indicate that start and stop point of the flowchart, we have to use the oval symbol. Okay. And also a pass or halt can use this oval symbol. Generally, this pass or halt can be occurred during the error conditions. And the symbol will be the first and last symbol in the flowchart. Next symbol is input or output. And in the algorithm, after the step start the program, we should declare the variables whatever we need, and then we have to receive the values for the variables what needs the value. Those receiving the input and displaying the output statements should be given in this parallelogram symbol. Okay. The name of this symbol is parallelogram. This symbol is going to be used to receive the input from the user and to display the output on the screen. So in the flow chart we have given some steps, read the values from user, and also there was a step display the output of C likewise, isn't it? So all those statements should be given in this symbol. And next symbol is processing. All the arithmetic instructions or calculations and all the declarations should be given in this box. Okay, so this is called a rectangle symbol. This rectangle symbol should be used for all the arithmetic calculations and then declarations. The arithmetic calculation can be anything: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, so all the things should be given in this symbol. Next symbol is decision. Decision means we may use some of the conditional statements such as if, else, for, while, do while, likewise. So all those conditions should be given in this symbol. The symbol is called a diamond symbol. If the statement is going to decide the next execution based on the yes or no choice, then this symbol should be used. Okay, simply we can say decision based operations or decision based statements are going to be given in this symbol. The statement will decide the execution based on the yes or no or true or false situations. Okay, and the next one, connectors. Connectors are nothing but whenever we started to draw the flow chart, it may be finished within a page or it can go more than one page. In case if a flow chart needs more than one pages, then one page should be connected with another page. At that time we have to use this connector symbol. Okay, this is simply a circle. Within this we can give a connector label such as A, B, C, likewise. Okay, and if we give A in below of one page, then the continuation of this flow chart should be represented on the top of next page with the same connector. If we give A in this page, top of the next page should have the A within a circle, and then we have to continue the flow chart. So likewise we are going to use the circle to connect the flow chart from one page to another page. Next symbol is flow lines. So these are the lines are going to be used to connect all the symbols which are in the flow chart. Okay, from the start to the stop, all the symbols should be connected using this flow lines. And also these arrows representing the direction of flow of the execution. Okay, and we have seen a diamond symbol that is used for decision, whether it is true or false or yes or no, likewise, isn't it? So in that case we have three different types of decision makers. Those are two-way decision, three-way decision and then multi-way decision. In case if we use a diamond symbol, what are the possibilities are there to make a decision is classified here in two categories. Okay, the first one, two-way decision. When a condition statement produces two possible choices, that is true or false or yes or no, likewise. Okay, when a condition produces two possible choices, then it is called two-way decision. Okay, for example we can say if we take A equal to B, we can say either A equal to B or not equal to B. There are two choices to decide based on the condition that can be given here like this. Within a diamond symbol there is a condition A equal to B. Okay, in case if A is equal to B, then it is called yes. Okay, then we can proceed with next statement. If it is not equal to B, then we should move on, no choice. Okay, so there are only two possibilities can be derived based on this condition, that is called two-way decision. Next one is three-way decision, where we can derive three kind of decisions based on the condition. Okay, for example A less than B, this is the condition which is given within a diamond symbol. If A less than B, then yes part, one choice is there. Okay, in case if A is not less than B, it can be either greater than or equal to B. Okay, so that's why the second choice is A greater than B. If 2 is not possible, then the third choice is A equal to B. Okay, so this kind of situation is called three-way decision. And the third one, multi-way decision. Multi-way decision is nothing but if a condition is having more than three choices, then it is called multi-way decision. For example, we can say to search a given number from set of numbers, we may have different choices, number of choices. So that is given here in a diagram. I equal to 4, it's a condition. Before matching with 4, we have some more choices like this: 0 equal to 4, 1 equal to 4, 2 equal to 4, 3 equal to 4, and finally 4 equal to 4. In this situation, it becomes true, but before that we have 4 more choices. So likewise, to search for a particular number, we may face number of choices. In that case, it is called multi-way decision. Okay. If you take decision symbol, there are 3 types of decisions. One is two-way decision, and second one three-way decision, third one multi-way decision. Okay. And now let us see a flow chart for the taken problem. The taken problem is adding two numbers. As we said, the first step start and the last step stop should be given within a oval, isn't it? Here we have given the oval symbol for start and stop. Now you just keep in mind the algorithm which we have written in the previous class. In that the first step is start the program and the last step is stop the program. Those two steps are given here within the oval symbol. Okay. And after start the program, we have declared the variables, isn't it? So with the data type integer, we have to declare ABC. That is given here within a rectangle symbol like int a comma b comma c. This is enough while we represent the algorithm for declaration into the flowchart. Okay, no need to write the full statement. Just we can write the data type followed with the variables. And next statement is get the values for the variable a and b from the user. Is a statement which is in the algorithm, isn't it? For that we can write in the flowchart like read a comma b, and the statement should be given within the parallelogram symbol, because we said now the input and output statements should be given within a parallelogram symbol. Okay. And then after receiving the values, we have to add, isn't it? Addition statement is called processing statement, that should be given in a rectangle symbol. So C equal to A plus B. No need to write in a statement add A and B and store the value in C. Just we can directly write like this: C equal to A plus B, which is given in a rectangle symbol. And then after adding the values, we have to display the answer. Okay, display the output on the screen. Instead of that statement, we are going to use here write C. This statement should be given within a parallelogram symbol. Okay, and at last there is stop. Now you just keep in mind start and stop should be given in oval symbol, and then declaration statement and processing statement should be in within a rectangle symbol, and reading the input and writing the output should be within a parallelogram symbol. So these are the basic things which you should know about the flowchart. Okay, so now we have drawn a flowchart for the taken problem, that is adding two numbers. So this is what about the flowchart. Just we have seen the definition for flowchart and what are the symbols are used in the flowchart and how we can derive a flowchart, right? So now I am going to give you an assignment. We have discussed the algorithm in previous class. Today in this class we have seen about the flowchart, isn't it? Now you have to write an algorithm and how to draw the flowchart for finding biggest one from given two numbers. I think you can understand the problem clearly. So now the problem is we are going to find the biggest number from the given two numbers. For that, first we have to declare two variables, and you should receive two values from the user, and you should make a condition to find which number is biggest one. You just think how the statement can be to find the biggest one. Okay, it is very simple, and the output should be the biggest number. Okay, this is what the given task. For this, first you have to write an algorithm and then you have to draw the flowchart. First think about the given task, what are the statements we need, and then analyze the algorithm and flowchart what we have discussed in the previous classes, and then implement in the algorithm and then flowchart. Okay, I'll meet you next class. Thank you.